I met Clint Eastwood in Carmel. That was the highlight of my. The only person I ever met that was famous was in his bar. No, he wasn't there. He owned a bar in Carmel called Mom's Breakfast. Thursday nights he used to go in. Okay, I go to Thursday, have margaritas and stuff. In Carmel. Right. So we're going to have a margarita. And there he comes, walk in, it's like I was told, right? He bought everybody a drink. And I went up to me, I went up to him, hey, Philip, Mr. Eastwood. He just shakes his hand. Just like a regular dude. That's all that was about. But I was pretty cool at everything I thought about it. Exactly right. Was it? No, you know, I saw it advertised now, right now. I know it's market. Oh yeah. She's a doctor. She has that real raspy. They were in all these movies together. Now Eleanor's not coming back. So you watch Netflix too, right? You watch Netflix too? Netflix? Yeah. Today I watched the whole season of Black Summer. Black Summer, it's something on there now. Like Lipsky's out there now, Black Summer's out there. Like Walking Dead. Oh, okay. But it's like that. They took it off. I like Walking Dead. I watched the whole season today. That's why I had to have a job at 3 o'clock. And here you go. They were gone. I'm sitting in the house. Katie's snoring on the bed. I'm upstairs. Katie's snoring on the bed. I wouldn't watch that downstairs. Oh, I'm out when they're coming home. I've seen a radio show. I'm like, Tom, freehold yourself, man. It's Katie on the bed. She's like,
Well, welcome. Are we good to go, guys? Our sound and video guys? Okay, we're good to go. Welcome to the Kelly Center. I am Tom Kelly, and it is so good to see real people again, huh? How about this? Unbelievable. Who's gotten their vaccination? Who's had a colonoscopy? Who thinks that your personal medical information is none of my damn business? Okay, we have a quorum. Does anybody remember HIPAA? I don't think so. All right, we have complimentary soft pretzels set up in the back of the room. We have complimentary beverages, wine, beers, seltzers, water, and coffee. The coffee we're pouring tonight is Furnace Hills Coffee Soldier's Blend. If this is your first time here, we are a cafe during the day, the New Avenue Cafe. It runs from 9 to 1, 4 days a week, and employs people with different abilities, and we're very proud to have the cafe in here. So if you're in the neighborhood and want to stop in for a cup of coffee, on weekends there is live music on stage too. So we thought Soldier's Blend would be appropriate for Memorial Day weekend, and that's the complimentary coffee tonight. Special comedy show tonight with my longtime friend and big Kelly Center supporter, Mark Lipsky. We did a bunch of these before the pandemic, and we did some virtual ones after the pandemic hit, and this is our first one, real one, back here on stage again, so it's been a long time. So thank you very much again for being here. We really appreciate the support. I'm going to turn it over to our MC for the evening, Amanda.
No, it's so nice to be on stage and not talking into a laptop like we've been doing for the live stream. So welcome to our audience here and to our streaming audience at home. I am Amanda. So if you're not familiar with Kelly Music for Life, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization whose mission is to promote music, the arts, and community. If you are watching online, please buy virtual tickets. We suggest $10 or more. Your online contributions help sustain the Kelly Center. And you can now use Venmo to donate. Venmo at Kelly4Music, that is the number 4, under the business tab. You can also use PayPal or credit card. Go to kellycenter.org and click contribute. We have an artist of the month. Every month we showcase a different artist, and this month it's kind of special to me because the artist of the month is Grant Wessel, who happens to be my 12-year-old son. So all of this artwork is from, he wanted me to tell everyone it's also for sale. He wants to make some money. So if you look around, there's a list there. And in June, the artist of the month will be Dan Cavalier. If you want to check out our event calendar to see all of the events coming up, you can go to kellycenter.org. We have a calendar there. Lots of great shows. We are really like back in business here, so we have something planned pretty much every week. So check that out on kellycenter.org. We'd also like to fund thank our donors who helped to fund the Kelly Center: Green Mountain Energy Sun Club, Haverford Township Civic Council, the Radio Agency, JMC Fund, and the Connolly Foundation. To support with a tax-deductible contribution, contact us at kellycenter.org. Also, thank you to Joel Perlish, our house photographer. He actually has his assistant, Brian, the guy with the camera, if you don't know who he is. And you can see all of those photos from all of our events on the photo link on our website. Also, one last thing, if you would like to sign up for our newsletter so you know everything that's going on, you can sign up at kellycenter.org and scroll to the bottom of the page. All right, well, really the real MC for the evening is this next fine gentleman. So please welcome to the stage, Mark Lipsky.
Thank you, Amanda, and welcome. You guys ready for a good night of comedy? Are you ready for a good night of comedy? You better be, because boy, do we have one. So excited to be here. My name is Mark Lipsky. My pronouns are yo and what the fuck? Because when people address me, it's usually yo, and in the third person, they say, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? If you've never been to a live comedy show before, I should let you know you may hear some profanity, which I probably should have mentioned 20, 30 seconds ago. My mother would be so proud. My name is Mark David Lipsky, MD Lipsky. I think my mother was trying to send me a signal for my career path with the whole MD thing. Again, she'd be so proud to hear me swearing on stage in Havertown. A few years ago, I felt so badly to disappoint her. I wrote a song called Heart Surgery, and I sang it in a local bar just so I could call my mother afterwards and tell her I just performed heart surgery. It worked. The closest I will ever get to surgery is shaving, which I'm not doing much anymore. This is a bad year to own stock in Gillette. I used to shave 5-6 days a week. Now it's maybe once a week. I get this 4 or 5 day thing going, and it's like, hey, this almost kind of works. By day 7, I look like Wilfred Brimley's drinking buddy in a Civil War movie. And little kids will come up to me on the street and go, Grandpa! And other little kids will come up to me on the street and go, Dead Grandpa! And those are the ones that I'll talk to, so it frightens people. I have one daughter. She is in Michigan this summer working a job from school for 3 months. I flew out to see her last week. The flight was fine. The rental car was fine. I drove to the Holiday Inn Express because, A, the Holiday Inn just moves way too slow for me. And B, I'm loaded. So I take a shower, and there's no shower curtains at the Holiday Inn Express. What they have are these clear glass doors. Whoever designed this bathroom failed to take into consideration the fact that my wife and I one day would be in our 60s, and we would want some degree of opacity in our bathrooms, which is the first time that opacity was ever used in a joke, and now we all know why. One thing I hate about traveling is I never know where to put my toothbrush because I just don't trust the surfaces. I have a hack. I will share it with you. You guys remember this always. Take the coffee cup from the room, flip it upside down, and poke the toothbrush in it. It will stand up perfectly like a toothbrush holder. It is amazing, and it works every time. This time I got a little freaked out, though, because what I discovered was on the bottom of the coffee cup, there was writing. There were numbers on the bottom of the coffee cup, and it was a date. And it said 6/18/19, and my brain is thinking, did this coffee cup expire 2 years ago? What happens when a coffee cup expires? I looked it up online, and it turns out that a coffee cup that expires past its date can grow bacteria. Okay, I just got through a pandemic with a virus. No, I am not afraid of bacteria. You know what scares me? Fronteria. That's just got a face. Bacteria, nice hair, cute little butt. Fronteria, not very pretty. So, supposed to pull the mask out really smoothly here. Here we go. So we're at the phase now, and nobody here is wearing, or very few people are wearing a mask. And just think of how our lives changed from these things. I remember when we first put them on, it was the first mask we'd maybe ever worn in our lives. Now we own 5, 10, 100 of them, boxes of them that will be passed along in our wills to our estate. When we first wore these, they told us, this isn't for your protection. We're protecting other people from you, and their stuff can still infect you. And I'm thinking, okay, if that's how masks work, why don't we just put them on backwards? Because apparently this is the side that works and not the other side. And for 2 weeks, my friends thought I was brilliant. Now, of course, a year later, the balance of nature has returned, and they all know I'm just an idiot. But think of what we've all been through with masks. I'll draw your attention to the screen. All the signs, all the rules we had to follow. We had no mask, no entry. No mask, no service. We're still seeing some of those around. No mask, no class. This was very big on college campuses where you had to wear a mask to attend class. No mask, no Easter. Boy, those Catholics will guilt you into anything. No mask, no ride. This was very popular on public transit and also in strip clubs. Give it a minute. Okay. No mask, no talk. Now, I didn't get this one because with the mask on, you can still talk I just won't be able to understand a damn thing that you're saying. No mask, no soup. Okay, cute. But if I put a mask on and you give me soup, how am I going to get the mask through? Yeah. So, no mask, no C. I think you may be wearing the mask wrong. And then that led to a whole lot of mask fails, I like to call them. Ma'am, no, that is facial lingerie. That is not a mask. And sir, no, I'm sorry, she wore it much better than you did. This is kind of like an angry Renaissance fair mask. I kind of like this. Just it's got some attitude and spirit to it. This was out last year. I don't know if you saw it in the movie. It was Porndemonium. It was not a good mask. Porndemic, I think is what it was called. Sir, you're not even trying. You're not even trying, and the toilet paper rolls on your head. No, neither are you. And we were all kind of confused because we were getting conflicting messages from the people that we trust. You know, Fauci started double masking, and then he was octo-masking. And my personal favorite of all was the Joe Biden mask that allows him to still continue to smell people's hair. But I figured since we have the screen up, we'd take a look back, because this has been kind of a strange and wacky year. Not as bad as last year, but let's take a look back at what's made 2021 what it is so far, whatever the heck it's been. The year started with Ted Cruz escaping to Mexico to take his family on vacation when you weren't supposed to travel. And then, of course, he came back and held a press conference at the airport. Well, you blame the whole thing on the Tattaglia family. Is he like not trying so hard to do Brando right there? But then things went smoothly. We had a smooth transition of power. Joe Biden sworn in. Americans celebrated. They came out just to hug and love and just, sing and dance and just, hang out. We also encountered something in the first half of this year that became known as cancel culture. And this got a little strange and odd. If you say or do the wrong thing, your life could change and you just are effectively gone. And some even movies were like dubbed, overdubbed, or censored. I call this one Cancel-Blanca. Here are a few of the lines that were changed from Casablanca for cancel culture. Here's looking at you, person of numerically diminished chronology indicators. Took longer, and he kept talking even after his lips stopped. Major Strasser has been shot. Round up the usual suspects, and for God's sakes, mix the races. Oh, kiss me, Rick, as if it were the last time. Here's my notarized document of consent. And finally, I am shocked to find that gambling is going on here. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Thank you. Baseball came back, so we had a little distraction. We have a whole season this year, and of course the Philadelphia Phillies have found a way to alienate their entire fan base before June. Oh my gosh. The one pleasure I've had from Major League Baseball this year was from the logo. I discovered that if you take this logo and add a circle, you've got a bird holding a baseball bat. How great is that? And especially if you're an Orioles or a Cardinals fan. Try that at home. Larry King died this year. Oh my God, he was like 7,000 years old. You still see him on all the late night infomercials selling every product under the sun. Scared the crap out of me the other night. On the TV Guide, I saw this. Larry King's prostate report. And I was kind of happy this wasn't live and he wasn't around to be part of this. I said, what the heck else is on TV these days? I said, okay, stop brain fog, followed by stop brain fog. So if you have brain fog, you might not know that you've already watched it. You're just going to sit through it. Best bra ever, followed by best bra ever. Okay, that one kind of makes sense that you might have two, one for each. The Instant Gardener, just add water. Lift your saggy boobs. This was a real show. Turns out this was just a local ad placed by a lonely old man who wanted to stand behind you while you did the dishes. And finally, while we're talking about boobs, here are 3 boobs I hope to never see again. You guys are a great audience. Thank you so much. We have an amazing show for you this evening. This is my mic. The performers will use that mic. We're taking all the precautions tonight to be safe. In fact, after each performance, we're going to take out the performers out back and shoot them for your protection. We've got this all covered. Our first performer tonight got his inspiration to go into comedy from some classic comedians, Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Andy Kaufman. He does my job at the Comedy Works in Bristol. He is awesome. He plays all around town. He's a terrific cook. And he fixes small appliances. So you guys might tackle him after the show. We have all kinds of gigs for him. Let's give a big Kelly Center welcome to Lump.
Yeah, you used the wrong mic. Right. Don't go shoot yourself yet. How's everybody doing tonight? Y'all good? They in here raw dogging microphones. I can't. It's a global pandemic going on. Y'all gotta be careful out here. Who you talk to and sneeze on and elbow bump and shake hands and hug and y'all look beautiful. Make some noise for yourselves finally being let out the house. Make some noise if you're essential. If you're essential, make some noise. Got very quiet. Somebody said, what? You can be essential? Yeah, let me take my hood off. I know I'm scaring some people in here. I apologize. I know where I'm at. I'm a stone's throw from Philadelphia, but that's a far throw. My name is Lump Hamilton, and before we go any further, a little secret confession. I had dental surgery about a year ago. I had all my teeth removed, and I decided to get my teeth the night off, so I'm just going to talk into this microphone and make y'all laugh. That's good? That's good? All right. They got the night off. Shit, I'm tired. I'm tired of shit. I'm also high. Anybody else here smoke weed? Weed smoking? 4 people? Y'all know I can see y'all, right? I know some glaucoma and cataracts in the room, and it's not just me. So I'm gonna ask again, who here smokes pot? Pot smokers? That's it? I don't care if we on TV or not. I didn't say I do smoke pot. Anyway. That means everybody else in here is on cocaine? Is that what that means? See me after the show. I'm 43 years old, and I met Mary Jane when I was 13, and I've been rocking out with Shorty ever since. I like to grab her by the butt and squeeze. That's our thing. And when I smoke weed, I like to come up with little games, brain teasers, if you will. Pay attention. What we're going to do right fast is we're going to expand our minds by combining animals. All right? Now, if you mix a squirrel with a bear, you get a square. I'm going to say it again. Some of y'all look a little confused. I was high as shit when I came up with this, so we're going to expand our minds by combining animals. Yeah, it was the good shit. Not that stuff that they gave out when you got back from Vietnam. No. We got that loud shit. You can smell it on me if you sniff hard enough. If you mix a squirrel with a bear, you get a square. If you mix a fox with a beaver, you get a fever. Yeah. What do you get when you mix a quail with a deer? You get a fabulous animal. It's fantastic, honey. Shit. They can get married in America. Clap it up for them. Clap it up for them. Come on. Equality is for everybody. 200 years ago, I'd have been doing this show in chains, and somebody would have been bidding on me afterwards. So equality is for everybody. I'm an asshole in real life, though. I told jokes at a gay bar once. I thanked everybody for coming out. I tend not to use segues because they're for fat cops. I have a friend that was recently diagnosed with a multiple personality disorder, and I'm an asshole. So I told him that all of his selfies are now group photos. Because you never know who's in the picture with him. I also believe that ADHD is just ADD in high definition. And that necrophilia is a dead fucking issue. All right. Those are facts and bars if you're keeping score at home. Y'all seem like a pretty smart crowd. I think that we can all agree that people without fingers are pointless. And that erectile dysfunction jokes are never hard. I must be a dyslexic masseuse because I'm always rubbing people the wrong way. For instance, paraplegics can't stand for anything. But most roll with it. All right. Oh, come on, guys. That's a really good joke. Can you kick it with a legless person? I'm not sure. I don't know. I think I might have smoked too much weed before I got here. For a living, I fix appliances, washing machines, dryers, stoves, refrigerators. That's a skill I actually learned from my father. Fuck you for thinking I didn't have a dad. Like I could call him right now. He's gonna answer, but he's gonna be like, "What the fuck? You know it's time for me to go to bed." I only have safe sex and bank vaults. Let me see. I'm from Southwest Philadelphia. It's a bad neighborhood, but I love my hood. I'm from a neighborhood so bad right now I have to literally lock the door while I'm pooping to make sure that nobody steals my crap. Facts. The crackheads got fresh fertilizer for sale. Like I said, working fixing appliances hasn't really been working out. So as of last summer, I recently become a copper pirate. That means I break into abandoned buildings. I take all the metal inside, and then I go recycle because it's the American way. Lock your doors at night. That's basically what I'm telling you. Last summer, also to make ends meet, I became a landscaper. So I changed my name to Javier to fit in with the Mexicans. They called me Yump. Yeah, some of y'all got that, some of y'all didn't. It's cool, y'all get that on the way home. I'm all right with that. And we used to do regular tasks like pull up weeds and pull out mulch. And one day I was standing on a ladder pulling ivy off a house, and I got stung by a wasp. Yeah. So now I have to vote Republican in the upcoming election. All right. Yeah, some of y'all didn't expect that from a dude look like he begged for change in front of Wawa. That's you gotta watch out. I don't know whether to go dirty or clean. Nah, I'm not going through that. This is a respectable place here. Oh, we might get one in. No, we might get one in. Pay attention. Let me see. Any parents in here? Make some noise if you're a parent. Parents? All right, cool. I have an 11-year-old son. A few years back, I was picking him up from school, and I was high and tired because I had just got off work. And as I was putting his hoodie over his head, he looked me in the eyes and he said, "Dad, I'm Batman." And I was, like I said, I was high, and I was like, "What you say?" He said, "I'm Batman." And I said, "Well, son, like I like to tell my son the truth, but not the whole truth." So I explained to him, I said, "Son, you can't be Batman for a few reasons. One, Batman's family was really, really rich. Like their money made money. And we are really, really poor. You know what I'm saying? Like our silver spoon is a spork from KFC. You know what I mean?" I said, also, Batman witnessed his parents die at a very young age. And I'm standing here in front of you and your mom is at work getting that chicken as she should. Chicken is money for those that don't know. She got a job too. And I said, well, last but not least, you can't be Batman because Bruce Wayne doesn't shit himself once a day while he's awake. Like, that's not a thing that Batman does. His mom hates that joke. All right, let's go. I ain't gonna be up here too long because y'all got a great lineup after me. So we're gonna do one clean, one dirty, and then I'm gonna leave. All right, that's cool? Y'all good with that? All right, let's do the clean one first. Where's my mic stand at? And remember, this is the performance mic. All right, this is for us. My mic covered, like it's clean. They still gonna take it out back and burn it. They bought like 6 mics, just in case a guest flight stops by. I've been an asshole my whole life. I got it honestly from my father. We talked about him earlier. He got it from his father. And one of my favorite stories to tell is when I was in the 5th grade, my teacher told me that she thought I was intelligent. She wanted to play a game of show and tell. I said, sure. So she put her hands behind her back. And she said, what I'm holding right now is slim and it's white. And I said, that's a piece of chalk. And she said, no, it's a straw. But I like your imagination. She said, I'm going to go again. I said, sure. So she put her hands behind her back. And she said, what I'm holding right now is long and it's yellow. And I said, that's a banana. And she said, no, it's a number 2 pencil. But I like your imagination. I said, can I have a chance at this game, Miss Teacher? And she said, sure. So I put my hand in my pocket. And I said, what I'm grasping right now is hard and it's brown. And she said, you go to the principal's office right now, young man. And I said, whoa, 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 take it easy. It's only a penny. But I like your imagination. Yeah. That's the cleanest dick joke you'll ever hear in your life. Facts. All right, let me get out of here with this. Ladies, I have some advice for you. Ladies, make some noise for yourself. There you go. That sounds like some good wives and mothers out there. Yeah, y'all doing y'all thing, especially during this pandemic. Ain't you sick of him? You been around him 24 hours a day. Remember the good old days when he would leave for like 10 hours at a time? And then he come back, you had dinner made, you might fuck him or not. You know what I mean? Depending on how you feel. You know, some couples got coochie coupons and all that. You know what I'm saying? You got to work your way to the good bowl job that's not on your birthday. You know what I mean? That kind of shit. All right. Ladies, I have some advice for you. If you want to remain number one in your man's life and you never want him to cheat on you, purchase some cocaine from your local drug dealer. Snort it off the edge of his penis before you suck it. You'll always be a headliner. All right, that's my time, y'all. My name is Lum Hamilton. Thank you so much, Kelly Center, for having me. Y'all have a wonderful night. Peace.
Lump Hamilton. Thank you. I'm on the right mic now. And the funny thing is, before the show, I explicitly told every performer, that's your microphone. And of course, I came right up and blew it all. Lump, thank you. I'm going to be combining animals for the rest of the weekend. I had cat and fox, and I said I should just stop because this isn't going to go anywhere in a healthy place. Our next performer has been a real busy fellow. He just recorded his first comedy album at Helium. It's called A Soft One. It's due out on June 25th. You love him, pre-order, because we all need the support for comedy. He has a podcast. The Stand-Up Guys. Yeah, the Stand-Up Guys podcast. And he's expecting his second child in October. This guy is doing a lot of stuff. Let's give it up. Jake Matera.
Took a pill. Wow. Okay.
No, it was the cat from my water.
It's like it's when the Molly kicks in. All right. Guys, thank you so much for being here. That's right. The podcast is not mine. We just had a paternity test done. So, okay. All right. That was bad. I'm struggling right now. I don't know. I have an album coming out, so I'm trying to write some new material. So I was like, I'm going to do some new stuff. And I was like, but I got to bust out the hits, huh? You guys are like, who are you? I'm like, I don't know. I tell you who I know. I look like the type of lady that has already called the cops on Lump, and it's true. I have. They should be here any minute. Run. No. Tell you about me. I'm married. Hopefully, if I'm having my second kid. I used to think the most embarrassing thing I could ever do was buy KY jelly. I was wrong. It's returning it. It's way more embarrassing. Yeah, it was a special occasion, Easter. Wish I was kidding. I had to return. I was going to overdraw the account. That's not how you want to spend your Easter. You'll miss the whole hunt that way. Don't do it. A lot of my friends are in the same boat, though, like with money, not with KY. A lot of my friends tell me that right now they're living paycheck to paycheck. And I'm like, quit bragging. I'm living inheritance to inheritance at this point. My phone rings in the middle of the night. I'm like, oh my God, let this be it. Aunt Dottie, Aunt Dottie, Aunt Dottie. Yeah, you guys are cool. You guys are cool. I love this front row of just stuffed animals. I believe they're called unsold seats. Like maybe if we put these stuffed animals here. No, it's fine. I'm not a big draw. No, I don't know. I'll tell you something exciting. So I'm married. Had my first kid. A lot of my friends don't have kids, so they don't know what it's like. I say it's kind of like getting an Xbox. Because at first you're so excited, you can't wait to bring it home and play with it. But it usually just ends with you cursing at a small child. So you better knock it off. I'm going to go bang your mom. Okay. It's pretty cool. I was always afraid of babies before having my own, Like, I was terrified of crying babies. Like, if I saw a crying baby, I would just run. You could probably get me to just, run a 5K by just chasing me with a crying baby. But, when we had our own, you had to deal with it yourself. You can't, call an Uber to deal with it, so they say. Turns out it's really easy. I don't know if you guys it seems like there's a lot of parents in the room, right? Everybody here has children? Yeah, okay. Every single person, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's really easy. All you got to do is hold the baby. You just bounce it, and that's it. You just bounce the baby, it knocks itself out, and then you put it down, you win. Feels great. I would do that, and then I would notice 20 minutes later, I'm standing in the middle of my living room, baby's in the other room, and I'm just still bouncing like an idiot. Like an extra in a rap video. Just cut, can we get him out of here, please? It's cool being a parent. They say once you have a kid, you start to relate to your parents more, Do you think that's true? No? Yes? I don't know. I don't think it's true. I love my mom, right? Of course I do. Look at me. She dressed me. She's on speakerphone right now. You're doing great. I love my mom, but the big difference between me and her is I know how to hang up the phone. My mom will keep me on the line she's trying to trace the call. There's a guy with headphones next to her, just keep it going. She's I'm all right, Mom, I love you. And she's oh, wait, your sister Amanda? It's what? Guy next to her is ask him about the cocaine. So now I have this ankle bracelet. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, having a kid's pretty sweet. Pretty neat. I'm going to tell you something new. I shouldn't have said it first. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to jump around. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't realize this. You guys know this? After you have a kid, you have to continue to work on your relationship. Do you guys know that? News to me. Thanks for the tip. So now I'm in a hurry-up offense trying to make things right, I'm I told her I was going to take her to dinner, and she got super excited. And she was so excited. She put on this nice dress, did her makeup, her hair. She looked gorgeous. She always does, but especially that night. She was so happy and excited to go out. And then I took her to Chipotle. Yeah, look, I love Chipotle, okay? I stand by that decision. I know it's just a Taco Bell that went to a good school. But it's my favorite place to go, right? We get there. She stays in the car. Suddenly she's not hungry anymore. And I go in, and I knew it wasn't going to be a good experience, because me and the girl working there just weren't on the same page. She didn't want to be there, and I really did. And I went up to the counter. I'm hey, do you guys sell tacos individually? She was what? No, we work as a team. I was what? So we both just broke each other's brains with a dumb question and then a dumb response. And I'm the type of person, if I don't understand what you say, I just giggle and agree. I'm yeah. You know, I don't like any confrontation. I'm just like, yeah. She goes, hard or soft? I'm like, oh my God, we're moving forward. Okay, hard. She goes, we're out of hard. You can't offer that as an option then. I got so mad I had to talk myself down because I know I look like the type of lady that would send an email, right? Like I was, like look, at least she's there. At least she's at Chipotle, like, and not, like, nothing's wrong with Chipotle. Just at least she's there and not in, like, the delivery room of a hospital, you know? Going up to moms in labor, like, you want to go natural or you want the epidural? And they're like, epidural. And she's like, we're out epidurals. I don't know. I've been, Sixers are in the playoffs, right? They're playing tonight, right? You guys excited for that, huh? Yeah, I'm not, like, look, I like the Sixers. I'm just not into basketball. I don't know what it is. Like, here's why. I saw Space Jam before I ever saw real basketball. There's no comparison. When you see Space Jam, then you see real basketball. Basketball is the most boring thing you could ever see. That's like going to see Cirque du Soleil, then going to a kid's gymnastics class. It's a big quality drop-off. And look, I love Space Jam. Space Jam was my jam. It's the like, I don't know. My friends are all into the Sixers now. They're like, you got to trust the process. And I'm like, I know the process. You put your hand on the ball, it sucks your soul out, steals all your powers, and an alien eats it. And that's what happened. That's the process. I don't know. Me and my wife were high school sweethearts, which is pretty cool. That's what deserves nothing. High school sweethearts, which is pretty great. It's 17 years we've been together. I go, thank you. Thanks, Buzz. Okay, I'm assuming some people have been here longer together. Joe, I know Joe. This is my neighbor, Joe, everyone, by the way. Yeah, this is... Joe's the best. Joe, how long have you and Maria been together?
44 years.
44 years. I don't like how quickly you clap for him. But then I said 17 years. You're like, pfft. All right, 44 years. Who else? Who can beat 44 years in here? That's what I thought. No, that's why I bring. We're lump. No. 44 years is amazing. Anybody got over 20 years in here? Anybody? Yeah. Oh, okay, there we go. Noses all up in the air. I see all of you. Okay, so 20 years, 44 years, 17. I'm almost there. Give me some time. Here's what I noticed when you've been together that long with somebody. It's like you still love each other unconditionally. It's just you care a little less. You know what I mean? Don't tighten up on me, 20-year people over there. It's a real thing. Like, I remember when we got our first apartment, the best night for us was like sitting on the love seat together and watching Netflix. Like, that was our perfect night. Now we just got our own couches. Way more perfect, isn't it? Yeah, you guys are high-fiving. It's the best, right? We order our own dinners now. My Uber Eats guy will pick up her Grubhub guy on the way over. That's the thing. You love each other. You care a little bit less, you know? Like, you can tell how long a couple has been together by how they put sunscreen on each other. Do you ever see a new couple at the beach? It's Cinemax After Dark. They're rubbing lotion on their hand for like a half hour. You hear a saxophone. There's a candle. You're like, oh my God, I'll give you some space. You ever see a couple that's been together 44 years put sunscreen on each other? It's like they're egging a teacher's house. They're like, hey, do my back? You're like, sure. Run! Somebody invented spray-on suntan lotion so they wouldn't have to touch their wife anymore. Like, that's terrible. Could you imagine that pitch meeting too? Because it wasn't invented that long ago. It's like, yeah, it's in an aerosol can. They're like, the ozone. They're like, yeah, but have you seen Margaret? They're like, approved. Guys, a little divided on that one. Heard some Margarets on that. No, just kidding. No, you guys are all beautiful angels. I like to travel. You know, it's been hard to do that over the last couple years. One of my favorite places to go that I've ever been was Montana, and like one day I got to spend one day in Yellowstone. Now I won't shut up about it, and I've been dying to go back there. When I want to go somewhere, I do a lot of research on the place, right? And I'm looking up all this stuff on Yellowstone National Park, and I found this out. This is 100% true. You can legally murder someone in Yellowstone National Park. This is for real. Like, you can't do it anywhere. You can't be at Old Faithful and be like, oh, that was disappointing. You have to be in a certain area of the park called the Zone of Death. I'm not making this up. You can Google this. Zone of Death. It's just a fancy term for Idaho. This is a real place, and I'll tell you, if you don't believe me, I'll walk you through it. Right? So here's how it works. Yellowstone was a park before there were even states there, right? So when they drew up the states, the whole park falls under the jurisdiction of Wyoming. But if you murder someone in the Zone of Death part of the park, which is Idaho, you get extradited to Cheyenne. But it's your constitutional right to be tried in the state and the district of where you commit the crime, right? And as a defendant, you get to choose between a judge and a jury. And if you choose jury, there's nobody that lives in that part of Idaho because it's all federal land. So there's no jury of your peers, and you get to walk. That's it. There's no joke here. This is more of a life hack. I don't know what's more disturbing, that I know this much about it, or how quiet you guys just got there. I saw some of your eyes, and I was like, pencils down, pencils. I'm an accomplice now. I guess what I'm saying is, either way, I'm going to find my way to make it to Netflix. No. That was never mind. I don't know. I always talk about my wife in my stand-up set. She doesn't like it. You know, she hates it. She's like, oh, you make it sound boring. I'm like, we're not boring. Like, it's fine. Like, I was like, hey, remember when we went to the auto show? I was like, wasn't that fun? I was like, hey, remember when we went to the auto show? Remember we got on that cool Jeep ride? It's like, didn't we get on that cool Jeep ride? She's like, no, we just watched it. I was like, all right, I guess we're boring. We are. It's fine. It's like, we like to spend New Year's Eve at home together. Like, no party. Nobody's allowed over, just like us, you know? It's really sweet. And yeah, that's kind of boring. Like, I remember like a couple years ago, it was just me and her, and like with 15 seconds left, I decided to go up and get like a refill and a snack. And she's like, oh, well, you're going to miss it. And I'm like, oh my God. And I don't know, it's my fault for getting up, you know, like, because with 15 seconds left, like, I blame that on Space Jam, okay? Because if it taught me anything, it taught me that anything could be accomplished in 15 seconds. Like, I could get the refill and reach for the Cheez-Its like Michael Jordan. And she was like, I was like, oh no. She's like, do you want me to pause it? And I was like, yeah. So she paused the DVR, like the live TV, and waited for me to get back so we could watch the ball drop together, which is really sweet. But when you hear the rest of the world celebrating outside, while me and her just silently standing in the living room waiting for our ball to drop, it's weird. It's like, it's the epitome of boring. And I know what happens. The ball drops, you know? And I know the whole process. You put your hand on it. It sucks out your soul. It's, no. This is just a note that says you're doing fine. Yeah, 17 years. You know what they say? If you love something, let yourself go. We always like we like to do fun date nights. Like one time we went to movie night at the Trocadero in the city. If you've never been to the Trocadero before, it's a rock club. It's standing room only. So what they do for movie night is they rent a bunch of plastic folding chairs. The kind that could maybe hold the weight of an American Girl doll. Or one of these teddies over here. Not that one. So the movie that night was Revenge of the Nerds. So you can get an idea for the body type right there, right? hefty. Okay. Movie starts about 5 minutes in. Behind me, I just hear, they stop the movie, they turn on the lights, like, what happened? Is everybody okay? Some guy fell through his chair. And I'm just like, what a loser. Like, so glad it wasn't me. I'm like, doing that whole thing. The guy was fine, you know. The chair will never walk again. But they got him a new one and they started the movie over. A couple minutes later, over here, somebody else falls through their chair. This time, they don't even stop the movie. And now everyone in there starts glancing back at me like I'm their horse. And here's the thing, I could feel the chair giving too, okay? It was like a little plastic atlas, just like, I got you! I got you! Like it was trying to impress a girl chair. Like, it's not heavy! And I was doing that thing you do, you know, like when you're in a public restroom where you hover over the seat. But I don't have the core strength to do this for 90 minutes. So I go to option B, which is just sitting down, spilling my weight out on the chairs next to mine, trying to be as weightless as possible. At that point, my wife jumped up. She's like, hey, I'm going to go get some popcorn. Do you want anything? And I'm just like, no! Unless they have balloons. Then get them all and tie them to this chair. I am scared. I was terrified. But I thought about it. I was like, also, like, I was that chair's Vietnam when you think about it. Because I'm seeing, like, staffers bringing in the fresh chairs and then carting off the mangled ones. Well, for 90 minutes, all around me in the darkness, all I'm hearing is just vroom, vroom, vroom. It just sounded like people were being raptured. Just vroom, vroom, like two giants were playing Guess Who. Like, is he a weird shape? Yes. Vroom. I made it through the whole movie. I don't know. Had a lot of wake-up calls that I let go to voicemail, you know? Like, I went to the doctor recently. I don't know why. I went to the doctor, and it was weird, because, like, you know how you get to the doctor, and they have that girl come out, and she just, like, walks you to the back, and she, like, stops and, like, does your, like, she weighs you first. She takes me to the scale. It's one of those old-timey scales, you know? And she's like, all right, take your shoes off. And I'm like that's going to make a difference. All right. I get on the scale, and she does this thing, like, because it's an old scale. She just starts, like, taking the big piece, and she's just like, all right, let's do this here, and, oh, wow, oh, okay, let me see. Let me try this next one, And she's, like, trying to act like she's surprised, like she's putting on a show for me, like, each notch is like a surprise party. She's like, oh, wow, okay. It looks like she's just building a pyramid. She's like, okay, And, like, she's just really... She gets to the end, and then, like, she has to take the big, like, you know, the top thing. She just slides it back. And, I'm just like, why didn't you just start from the back and just retract? You know? Because then she starts at the top, and she's like, let's see here. Okay, let's see. And she starts sliding it slowly across the top, you know? Like the Oregon Trail. And she's like, oh, wow. Oh, okay. And she keeps going. It's like, I'm thinking about every meal I've ever eaten at this point. And she gets to the end, and she finally, it balances, like, right at the end, and she's like, all right, I'll just tell the doctor you're, like, 20 pounds less, okay? All right. Like, she's doing me a favor. 20 pounds is nothing to me. Like, that's a meal, right? So who's that helping? That's only setting me up for failure the next time I go to the doctor. So I'm like, whoa, what happened? Like, and look, here's the thing. I'm fine, right? I'm fine with who I am. I'm at my ideal weight. This is the perfect weight right now, the ideal weight. I'm peaking right now because I could work my hardest, lose 100 pounds, and I would still be like the fattest guy, and you would not notice a difference. But I could also gain 20 pounds, and none of you would notice a difference. I could gain 30 pounds and get a haircut, and one of you guys would be like, oh, did you lose weight? I'm like, yes, I did. Yes, I did. All right, guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much, Jake Matera. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Jake Matera, everybody. All right. This will be a few minutes. the Rube Goldberg mic stand there. Well, we're about the halfway point. Wanted to remind you all we've got free beverages in the back, beer, wine, seltzers, bottled water. JJ's happy to help you out. This is a great time to get up and fill me up. For those of you watching at home, thank you for joining us from all around the country, LA, Michigan, Botswana, Chad. Who knows where you're watching from. If you are watching, please make a donation to the Kelly Center. We need that to stay in business, to stay open. And if not for all the good jokes you're hearing tonight, I think just learning about the zone of death was worth a donation. That was the biggest takeaway from me tonight. I've got all kinds of vacation plans. Our next performer has been here before, and then we had the pandemic, and then we all kind of went and hid, and I just sat in a rocker eating everything I can get my hands on and watching. I finished Netflix. But Jillian dressed up in a costume for 283 different costumes, just using what she had in her home every day, from Rocky Balboa to Frau Beluga to... I urge you to look it up online, Jillian Markowitz quarantine costume. It was freaking amazing. You may have seen Jillian on Amazon Prime on the show Weirder Stuff. This is her first live on stage performance since we all came out and demasked. So we're thrilled to have her. Ladies and gentlemen, a big Kelly Center welcome for Jillian Markowitz.
Thank you. Let's hear it again for Jake. That was so funny. I'm so angry at you. He promised me he would bomb because he knew I was following him. I am a musical comedian. I brought my ukulele, but I decided not to play it. I just thought, haven't we all been through enough this year? I've got you. Don't worry. No, it's been a really, really strange year. And yeah, this is my first live performance since we've all been like vaccinated and out and about. I mean, it was so scary. I think that quarantine gave all new meaning to the words, "you'll be paid in exposure." To coronavirus, you'll be paid and you'll be exposed. So at the start of quarantine, I did something that I'm actually kind of excited about. I threw my ex out on his ass. Thank you. Thank you. More. Thank you. Threw him out. I had to, okay? He broke my cardinal rule. My cardinal rule is do not ever break up with me. I'm a high-value woman. Now, I did get dumped at the start of quarantine, just to feel something. No, don't be sad for me. I'm fine. I mean, I did lose my job, my relationship, my house. But there is good news. I just saved a bunch of money on my car insurance by switching to having my car repossessed by the government. What's Geico? It was weird being single during the pandemic. I actually looked it up. The CDC said, this is true, for single people, if you're going to have sex, first of all, probably don't. But if you're going to, the best way to do it is no kissing from behind with masks on. So just all the stuff I was already doing. I think a GIMP mask counts, right? A lot of people are, like, dating is always hard for me. A lot of people are surprised that I don't like to be degraded in bed. I am a ukulele comedian. I am degraded enough in life. Also, turns out, fucking you, degrading enough. Thank you. No, I'm in the middle of moving right now, and my mom came to help me, and it was really sweet. I found just today, this is true, I found she had packed my vibrator in nicely with all of my contact lenses. It's like, wow, she is never gonna let this masturbating will make you go blind thing go. So I actually am seeing someone right now. Thank you. More, please. Thank you. I need this. But half of the room wasn't clapping, so could we try again? I'm seeing someone right now. I can just bully everyone into laughing and clapping. This is great. Now, I'm seeing someone right now, and it's going really, really well. But the problem is, his name is Jack. My name is Jill. He sounds like I made him up. His name is literally Jack McMahon. What's your boyfriend's name, Jill? Jack. Jack McMahon. Nursery rhyme McReal boyfriend. You can't meet him, he goes to a different school. In Canada. No, I knew that he was special because when, after our first date, it was a virtual date, and we talked for a few hours, and he was like, I just want to let you know that after talking to you for a few hours, I'm not seeing any red flags. Do you? I was like, yeah. You are not a good listener. No red flags. Have you seen me? Just a walking red flag. I think my hair is a red flag. So it was it's actually really okay, so I know that I seem like there's something very wrong with me. But it's okay. I am in therapy. Anybody else? Or my therapy? Yeah. I love it. I love it. I feel like there was more enthusiastic first time applause for who's in therapy than for anything else that's been asked. And I love this crowd for that. Give it up for yourselves. I know it's hard at the halfway point to keep the energy up, but I really need this. So if you could just... Thank you. Thank you. My friend back here who said, I like it when Jake was talking about murder. I was like, I like you. You're going to be on my side. I know it. So, yeah, I am in therapy. I was in therapy for 6 years, and then my therapist fell in love with me. So I won therapy. I did it. Mark mentioned that I've been doing all of these costumes, using stuff in my house, just having a very public mental breakdown. And my therapist said that I was using attention-seeking behaviors to mask my depression, which is like such a weird reply to a picture of my boobs. All right, I wasn't going to play a song, but I think I'm gonna. Because first I wanted to be nice to all of you, but then I was like, you know what? I'm performing for me. Okay, so I know this is controversial, but I don't think that comedy has to be entirely funny. So this is a very earnest song that I wrote about like love and intimacy. It's called If I Fart While We're Spooning. If I fart while we're spooning, will you walk out the door? If I fart while we're spooning, will you not love me anymore? Is it true that I could lose your lovin' just because of one stupid Dutch oven? You said we'd go to Aspen, yeah, you said to pack my skis. Now is that all over just because I cut the cheese? I can't contain my love for you, but now those hopes are dashed, because I also can't contain the methane in my ass. Will you forget the songs I wrote you pawn your engraved watch the moment we are spooning and I'm farting on your crotch? Will my rectal thunder leave the two of us asunder? If I give you my trust, will it take more than one crop dust before my sphincter seals our fate? Or can I let my bowels deflate when I'm with you? Will you love me when I'm farting while we spoon? Thank you so much. Let's hear it for your host, Mark.
Jillian Markowitz. You know, she brought the uke. She had to use it, right? Service. Oh, thank you, Jillian. That was awesome. Our cleanup hitter tonight, I worked with a long time ago, way back in radio. Right out of college, I worked at WPEN, and he was the overnight guy. He left radio for a career in comedy, and son of a bitch, he made it work. He's been working his whole career, performing everywhere. You may have seen him on Comedy Central, on A&E, maybe at the Borgata, the Tropicana in Las Vegas. He actually gave Chris Rock his first big break as creative director of Catch a Rising Star. So he's been all around the area, and tonight he is here at the Kelly Center. Let's give it up for Mike Egan. Mike!
Hey, Mark. Joe Taylor. Oh, inside joke. Well, good evening, ladies. It's nice to be here. This is a pretty cool place. I got to admit, the way they did this. I thought before I start my little portion of the show, I would tell you the only clean joke that I know, because everyone else tells a joke, so I thought I would tell you the one I know. Guy walks into a bar, he sees a beautiful woman, and he wants to meet her. So he goes up to her, and he says, "You're gorgeous. What's your name?" She said, "My name is Carmen." He said, "Carmen, that's an unusual name. Is that a family name?" She said, "No, I gave that name to myself. It represents the two things I love most in the world, cars and men. Carmen." She said, "What's your name?" He said, "BJ Titzenbeer." So there you go. There you go. It's the only clean one I got. I have another joke. I think this is okay. Other people may interpret it differently, but I think it's harmless. Guy walks into a bar. No, guy walks into a doctor's office, and the doctor says, "You're going to have to stop masturbating." He said, "Why?" He said, "I'm trying to examine you." A turtle holds up a bank. You have to suspend belief for this joke. The turtle holds up a bank. The only witness is a snail. Don't get ahead of me. So they line up all the turtles in town, and they say to the snail, "Which turtle held up the bank?" And the snail says, "Well, you know, it all happened so fast." It's all relative. I had a birthday last week. Thank you very much. I got a few things. Some of you gentlemen out there can relate. I got my first urologist, and I'm going to check my prostate. And I got a gastroenterologist guy. He's going to do my colonoscopy. I'm married, so that makes 3 people up my ass. My wife, she got me a dog that she wanted. And, yeah, thanks. I got to walk this thing now. It's a Chihuahua. He's here illegally. And apparently he has dyslexia. You know how most dogs will sit on your lap and lick your face? So anyway, it's nice to be traveling. I've only got 20 minutes. I can't wait. It's nice to be out again. It's been a while to be out. Vegas is open now, and I'm going to be going out there in July again to work. I haven't been there in a while. Last time I went to Vegas, I was doing a tour out in the West. I drove out to Vegas. I'm going to sit down because I hurt my back about 7 days ago. So now I have a weak back. No, it's a true story. Okay, so anyway, last year when I went to Vegas, I rented a car because I wanted to see America, you know. And I rented one. You ever see those smart cars? Those little tiny cars? They're great, man, if you have no friends or luggage. So I went cross country in a smart car. I thought I'd get like 70 miles to the gallon. You got like 44, which that sucks for a car that big, you know, and has no power whatsoever. I'm going up this hill in Kansas, the only one they have, and I got stuck on gum. So very underpowered. I'm going cross country, you know, waiting to get to Vegas. It took me 3 days. I'm in nowhere, Nebraska, which is the name of the town, ironically. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I come to a 4-way stop sign, and I figure I'll blow through it, you know. I mean, but there's probably a Nebraska state trooper waiting to nail my ass, so I didn't. And I stop. It's ridiculous. It's 2 a.m. in Nebraska. I'm at this 4-way stop sign, and apparently out there at that time of year, it's what they call rutting season. That's where like elk and moose, maybe a Shriner, they have this desire, this urge to merge, to mate. And so I'm at the stop sign, and I'm idling, and I hear this clop, clop, clop coming up from the back. And it could have been a huge squirrel, but I'm idling, and I guess this moose, I was purring. Turns out my smart car is about the size of a doe. So I hear this clop, 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 and this moose lands on the roof of my car with a thud. It wraps its legs around my doors. I'm rocking back and forth. I'm thinking, how am I going to explain a broken tailpipe to the insurance company? You know, but I'm an animal lover, so I pulled out slowly. And I continued on with my journey. Stopped in Colorado. I bought pot there. It's the law. And I'm not a pot smoker, by the way. I'm old-fashioned. I'm an alcoholic. So, but I figured, what the hell? Let me try. You know, it's good to have an alternative drug. So I took a few, what they call hits. You know, like that. I smoked some pot, and I held my breath going through Utah. And when I got to Vegas, I was working at the Tropicana at that time, and apparently people have different urges when they smoke pot. Some get horny, some get hungry, some have an urge to play miniature golf. Well, count me in. As luck would have it, in the Tropicana they have a miniature golf course. Oh, the luck! So I figured I'll play some miniature golf. I'm playing miniature golf. It's really good weed. And there was a little person playing miniature golf. He wasn't a dwarf. He wasn't grumpy. This was a midget. They don't mind that term, by the way. It's not a negative. They don't mind midget. They don't like munchkin, I found out. But it was good weed. Normally I wouldn't have said that. But you think the guy running the place could have said, "Dude, you look stoned. There's a midget on the third hole. Heads up." It wouldn't have killed him. I was not expecting to see a midget playing miniature golf. I didn't think they would have the interest. It's like a walk through the neighborhood for these guys. was really good weed. When you're stoned and you're talking to a midget, your first thought is, shit, I'm 15 feet tall. They're fine, it's me. So anyway, I said to the midget, I said, excuse me, Mr. Midget. Don't ever do, they hate that. I didn't know that. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. My father always told me, you talk to somebody, you look them in the eye. You know, when you're 3'8", you have to adapt. So I said, excuse me, Mr. Midget. He goes, what are you, coaching third base? Apparently they, have a small sense of humor too. So I said, you're a midget, you're playing miniature golf. Does this look normal to you? He turned, he walked into a little schoolhouse, sat down. I think he gave me the finger. They have little fingers, it's hard to tell. It was a ways off, there was a windmill. But my point is, ladies and gentlemen, you go where the work is. You go where the work is. After Vegas, I did a show in Arizona, outside of Fort Huachuca, Arizona. It was for American Indians. They have their own comedy club out there. It was I forget what it was called, but it was packed. The place was packed. They apparently had reservations, and so I'm working there at this club. They were a good crowd, They have a sense of humor too. One of the guys after the show, an Indian guy, American Indian, not the, and well, people get confused. Dude, feathers or dots? What's up? So okay. He says, we don't like snow. I said, it's white and it's on our land. Big Indian humor, apparently. Just telling you what they told me. Did a show in Salt Lake City, Utah. Whoa, what a place Salt Lake City is. 800 people in this amphitheater, and it turns out they're all Mormons. Lovely people, the Mormons. I didn't even know they were Mormons till I told a dick joke, and 8 women had to share it. It's a true story. My last place on the tour, I was working in South Dakota at the Mount Rushmore Comedy Club. That was weird, the Mount Rushmore Comedy Club. Every night, the same 4 faces. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, I called my wife. I said, honey, I'm going to be home in a couple of days. And she said, when you come home, you'll notice, I had the bedroom painted. If you're a guy and you're married to a woman who tells you ahead of time what you're going to notice, it takes a lot of pressure off. The worst thing a man can hear from a woman is, notice anything new? No, we don't. Ladies, we don't notice. Avoid the hurt and disappointment. Tell us. Just tell us. It's not our fault. It's not in our DNA. That's what it stands for. Don't notice anything. We don't notice. Forgive us and tell us. She said, we're going to have a bedroom paint. I said, what color? She said, taupe. I said, there's no need to name call. She said, no, taupe. It's a color. Any guy knows that. I said, any guy who lives with another guy might know that. I got no idea what the hell taupe is. She said, taupe is tan. I said, get the hell out of here. My voice goes up when I'm surprised. Get out. Taupe is tan. Well, I got home and I looked at the walls and I realized she got a hold of a bad taupe dealer. Somebody cut the taupe. The walls were not tan. I know this color. When I was a kid, my dad got us a puppy. He got it cheap because it was sick. Anyway, it took a shit one day and I had to clean it up and it was that color. My dad didn't call it taupe. Called it sick puppy shit brown. That's what it was. It's a real color, sick puppy shit brown. Sherwin-Williams makes it. It's in the back. You have to ask for it. Sick puppy shit brown. They spell shit with a Y so it looks British. Sick puppy shit brown. It's a real color. Didn't know that. Anyway, I looked at the bedroom and I realized she had put curtains around the bottom of the bed. Curtains. When I left, we had no windows down there. So why'd you put curtains around the window? She goes, they're not curtains. Like this. You ever get this from a woman, guys? You know what this is, don't you? 10 of these laying down. They're not curtains. What she called them? Dust ruffles. Dust ruffles. Apparently, the dust is in the air, and you got the ruffles there. It just sucks that dust right down there, and just bothers people who live down there. It's great up here, no problem. Dust ruffles. She bought it at a place called the Rag Shop. All the women there are really grouchy. Anyway, call it a coincidence. And I noticed she put a top on the bed. It's like she dropped acid and went to Raymore and Flanagan. I said, what the hell? Why'd you put a roof on the bed? It's a roof on the bed. She goes, it's not a roof. I hate this. It's not a roof. It's not called a roof. She called it something else. What is it? No, that's another problem I'm having. I didn't even know I had a problem with my prostate until I saw the commercial for Avidart, and I have one of the warning signs. Are you getting out of bed to urinate? I thought that was a good thing. Imagine my surprise. So anyway, now I got the roof on the bed, which is good. I guess if it rains and the first roof leaks, I've got the backup roof. I'll be the last one to get wet. Well, actually, the midget would be the last one. He's closer to the ground. So that's why that is. Yeah, anyway, I'll tell you though, one thing my wife, she's a wonderful person. We're married, 44 is pretty impressive. I'm only married 36. Not in a row, but even so. If you add them all together, as I do every April 15th, it comes 36. But she's a wonderful cook, my wife. She's Italian, typical Italian woman, calm, slow to anger. And my wife and I have an argument. We're like the tortoise and the hare. She's like, zing! She's pissed off. I'm like, what's the matter? I don't know what I did. I have no idea what the hell. Anyway, she's a school teacher, teaches 5th grade. That's the worst, she said, for the boys are the worst. She goes, boys are the worst, because they're starting to mature now. They're getting hair where they never had it. They're nuts. And come on, punctuate with me, God damn it. Anyway, my wife used to teach. She used to tell me this story about something that happened in the teacher's lounge. That's where teachers go to bitch about their students. And she said one of the teachers said something really inappropriate. And she said, all the teachers ignored it, like the 800-pound elephant in the room. And my ears perked up. I'd never heard that saying before, the 800-pound elephant in the room. I said, honey, I think you meant the 800-pound gorilla. An 800-pound elephant would actually be a very small elephant. You wouldn't even notice it, probably. Essentially, it's the opposite of what you're trying to say. She goes, yeah, well, what's a gorilla normally weigh? I said, well, I saw on Animal Planet, the silverback goes about 650. So she said, so then all you're talking about really is just a fat gorilla. Never mind. You notice a fat gorilla before you notice a skinny elephant? Never mind. You can't win an argument. You can't lose an argument. She says shit like, you don't want to put the horse before the cart. Yes, you do. Right? You start questioning your own sanity. What? She says it like it's a fact. Everybody knows. You don't put the horse first. What? I said, there's few absolutes in life, but one is the horse goes first. That's the rule, man. And she can't lose an argument. She goes, oh, what? The horse couldn't push you with his nose from the back? No, absolutely not. Jesus Christ. Well, it's like climbing a hill with roller skates. You get nowhere. Anyway, but hey, that's like she can cook though. Whew. She's Italian, like I said. I'm Irish, and Irish, we're not known for our cuisine. We eat food, so we have a reason, to drink the beer. But my wife, she can make stuff. I never heard of. She'll cook vegetables. She makes shit that just I don't know what it is. It turns my ass into a rocket. Just goes right through me. Escarole, and I forget the other one. It's like string. It's like it goes in and it comes right out my ass. It's like human dental floss. Arugula is another one. What the hell is this? Sometimes she just feeds. So I'll just take my plate to the bathroom sometimes. Ever do that? just eat in the bathroom, you know. It's not elegant dining for one, but what the hell, you know. I'm sitting there, and I'm reading Cosmopolitan magazine. You read what's there, you know, and shit, there's a copy of Cosmo, so I'm reading Cosmo because I'm married and I want to know why everything is my fault. So I'm reading Cosmo. I'm in this article, orgasms, are you getting your share? Turns out I'm not. I'm a little upset about that. But the article said that the man's orgasm is totally different than the woman's orgasm. I didn't know that. A woman's orgasm is totally, for a woman, you know, it starts in the feet and goes up through the legs, the torso, the whole body takes part in this brief bit of writhing passion. It's like when the bear jumps out of the water and the fish jumps out and the bear grabs a fish with its mouth in midair. And that energy and intensity must be what a woman's orgasm is like. I've never seen one, but I think for a man it's more regionalized, right around here. Our balls explode when we go to sleep. No tingling toes, no lightheadedness. No salmon flapping in our mouth. One and done, and good night, Irene. That's all we get. Hardly seems fair. Let me see. All right, got time before I get out of here. Oh, yeah. I'm reading Cosmo, and it's on the back, 50 ways to turn them on, and 50 ways to turn a man on. I didn't know there were 50 ways. Can't wait to tell my wife there's one. But anyway, I looked at the list of the 50 ways to turn a man on, and number 47 caught my eye. Primarily because she wouldn't do any of the first 46. But number 47, how to turn a man on. Tickle his testicles with your blush brush. Gentlemen, it's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt. Make room in your wallet, guys. Make room in your wallet. That's right. You're married 44 years? It's a perfect thing. She's on the phone, you're watching the game. Hey, so anyway, you don't even have to look at each other anymore. It's a beautiful thing. Play little bedroom games, you know. Am I Hitler or Chaplin? Whatever, you're into it. Doesn't matter. I'm not here to judge. An Italian chick. My wife's Italian. I can say that when she's not here. So, I'm just saying, it's a little thing here. That's all. Anyway, it was interesting coming up here. I was hauling ass, and I got it's coming up. Which one? A 476, the extension went up there, bumper to bumper traffic. I figured, who the hell's going to leave on Memorial Day like this? Memorial Day, where we honor our war dead by going to the beach. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. Bumper to bumper. You ever get stuck in traffic, and some asshole goes whizzing by on the shoulder? That's me. So I have shit to do. I'm sorry. I admire you people who have the patience just to wait. You can make good time on the shoulder. It's like your own lane. Zoom. Come on, put on the blinker. You're going to exit in 10 miles. Grow a pair. Go. That's what I do. Some people can't handle the shoulder. I mean, they go nuts. My father was that way. I'm one of 9 children. I'm the 5th oldest. My mother discovered Valium after me, so I don't know if she even knows about the other 4. But we come home from church, come over the crest of the hill, nothing but brake lights. My father bangs on the chair and goes, God damn son of a bitch. And I'm thinking, well, church is a wash. All right. And there's my mother who's, dropping Valium left and right. She's got a smile on her face for no reason. She looks at my dad. She says, Jim? My dad's name was Jim. Spelled it G-Y-M. Never worked out. Jim, we're going to get right through. Why don't you just calm down and relax? We're going to get through. My father said, why don't you get out, you start walking, and if I pass you, you were right. So, that was my dad. He was a pithy fellow, he sure was. But anyway, so I'm in traffic like this, and I see this car go whizzing by on the shoulder, and I figure, what the hell, if he can go, I can go. So I hooked in right behind the guy. We're hauling ass, man. He's zipping, I'm zipping. I caught his draft, I was saving gas. He reached down, he put a blue light on the dashboard. True story, man. Felt weird getting pulled over from the front. Cop pulls in front of me. He comes up to my car and says, hey, wise guy. He says, the reason I stopped you back, because he said, do you know why I stopped you? And I said, yes. And I left. I mean, I thought the conversation was over. Apparently, he had another question. So he catches up to me like, heading down the length of a football field. He catches up, he runs up to my car like we filmed the scene out of Cops, and he goes, "That question I asked you back there was hypothetical." I said, "Actually, officer, that was rhetorical." Hypothetical would have been if you had stopped me and said, "What would you do if I pulled you over?" That would have been hypothetical. But you already knew why you pulled me over, therefore, ergo, it becomes rhetorical. Do you see the difference? But this, I don't know, it's a habit I developed. So now, he says, "Where's your license at?" I said, "I can't answer a question that ends in a preposition." Come on. So now I'm outside the car with my hands on my head. Down at the station, the point of the story is cops don't like it when you mess with their grammar. So that's all. Before I just want to finish that. Before I get out of here, I want to tell you one final story. And by the way, you're a delightful crowd. Thank you for coming out and supporting comedy. I know Mark appreciates it. We comics certainly do appreciate it as well. This is a true story, except for the punchline. When I was growing up, I was what you call lower middle class. Remember when there was such a designation, lower middle class? Remember that? Now it's just fucking broke. But used to be between poverty and mediocrity was that lower middle class, which many of us strive for. My best friend, his name was Jimmy King. Not germane to the story, but I thought you'd like to know. His name was Jimmy King, and he had this obsession with birds. He loved birds. All kinds of birds. He loved birds, I loved baseball, and we both admired the letter B. But anyway, without it, we'd be nowhere. Well, anyway, my dad got offered a better job, and we were going to move away from Jimmy King, moving on up. And so I lost contact with my best friend Jimmy King over many years. I finally found him on Facebook, of all places, and he never did get the bird. He always wanted a parrot. It was his dream to have a parrot, but back then they were like $500-600, so he didn't get a parrot. If they'd had a parrot, they would have had it for dinner probably, which is what happened to my brother's rabbit. So he was not happy. Oh, one more pun, come on. So anyway, he never did get married. He got a bird. He got married instead. Which is not a quid pro quo, but whether you're married or have a parrot, either way, there's always somebody talking. So, and he soon went on to have like 4 or 5 kids, and he never got a parrot. He told me every night he would come home from work, he'd take the bus and get off the bus stop and have to walk home and go by this beautiful pet store with its elegant parrots that he's always dreamed of having one. And one day he was walking by and he saw a parrot for sale for $25. Well, he bought that parrot right up, took it home. Put the parrot on a stool, and one of his 5 kids came in. And the parrot looked at the kid and said, "Hey, you little son of a bitch." He was upset, Wasn't that upset. It wasn't one of his favorite kids, but still. Second kid walks in, the parrot says, "Hey, you little son of a bitch." The wife said, "That's it. Take the parrot back. We are not keeping a parrot that calls our kids a son of a bitch." Well, he takes the parrot back, and the owner says, "Sorry, there's no refunds. It's as is. It's a $25 parrot." He says, "I can't take it home. He keeps calling my kids a son of a bitch." Pet store owner says, "Listen, he says different things. You got to train the parrot. Next time he says something you don't like, you just throw him in the freezer for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. What do you pee to people?" So anyway, he takes the parrot home, puts it on the stool. Third kid walks in, which is good, or the joke would be over. The third kid walks in, the parrot says, "Hey, you little son of a bitch." Well, he grabs the parrot, he throws him into the freezer and shuts the door. Comes back 10 minutes later, opens the door, and there's the little parrot just shivering. Icicles hanging down from his little wings. And he says, "Did you learn your lesson?" And the parrot says, "Yes, I did. He says, "I have a question." So, "What is it?" "What the fuck did the chicken do?" Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Mike Egan. Woo! Let's keep it going for everybody. For Lump Hamilton, for Jake Matera, Jillian Markowitz, and Mike Egan. Woo! Thanks to everybody at the Kelly Center for being here to staff everything, for giving us free booze. Before we wrap up, I'd like to bring Amanda back up to the stage. She's got say to you, and you'd better listen because that's Amanda. Amanda?
You, Mark Lipsky, Jake Matera, Lump Hamilton, Mike Egan, and Jillian Markowitz. They were fabulous. Let's give them one more round of applause. I think we all needed to laugh tonight, and they definitely made us laugh. If you want to see replays of tonight's show, or you thought it was so funny and you want to share it with all of your friends, you can do that from our Facebook and YouTube pages. So share the show, let everyone see it. Also, again, if you'd like to make donations, you can do that through Venmo at Kelly4Music under the business tab. For PayPal or credit card, go to kellycenter.org and click contribute. All right, upcoming Kelly Center events. We have a lot of fun things going on. Next Saturday, another student stage featuring Jess Smith with Ryan Holmes, Christian Yeager, Lauren Milo, and Annie Potter. The Star Competition by Danny Murphy starts next week, round 1, Sunday for 16 and under, Wednesday for 17 and over. And also coming, a special sold-out comedy fundraiser with Joe Conklin and friends, Elena Brokus, Future Stars Showcase, The Peace Creeps featuring Richard Bush, Matt Duke, the Barker Brothers, Texas and Swing Hall of Famer Marianne Price and Edge Hill Rounders featuring Joe Mass. And this summer, Kelly Music for Life will host 2 free outdoor concerts in the park, so we're really excited about that. June 26th in Paddock Park, the Grateful Dead tribute band Four Lean Hounds, and August 28th in Merwood Park, classic rock party band The Tonebenders. For info on all of our upcoming shows, go to kellycenter.org and visit the event calendar. Special thanks to our sound and video techs, Chris Klein and Nate Drew, and of course our house tech, Rick Miller. Yeah. Also, a big thank you to JJ in the back there serving us our free alcohol tonight. And on behalf of Tom and Sherry Kelly and Paul and Susan Kelly, thank you for joining us, and thank you for your contributions from the Kelly Center for Music, Arts, and Community in Havertown, Pennsylvania. I'm Amanda. Stay safe, play it forward, and good night. Thank you all for coming, everyone. And we hope to see you back here at the Kelly Center soon.
I guess we could leave the can there. I thought it was awesome.